The matter of the race of the ancient Egyptians being black is being widely promoted by racist groups of black Americans who simply aren't proud of their West African descent, but was taken to a whole new level by the pseudo-historian Diop. Such false information and history revisionism of the Egyptian history warrants a response. In this series, we will debunk the Black Egyptian hypothesis, which allegedly claimed that the ancient Egyptian civilization was a black Negroid civilization. But before we start, let's see how the ancient Egyptians depicted themselves in their art. Negroids, aren't they? Let's just ignore the obvious and explain why scientifically the ancient Egyptians weren't the same race as the black sub-Saharan Africans. In this episode, we will talk about the Caucasoid features and pre-dynastic and dynastic Egyptians, but for the dynastic Egyptians, we will talk about them exclusively the next episode in more depth, so don't forget to subscribe to stay tuned. The most popular way of classifying races is comparative analysis of skull types. The study we will be representing was done by the anthropologists C. Loring Brace and 5 co-researchers, who analyzed the range of 24 cranial measurements from diverse world samples, including the ancient Egyptians. According to the study, the craniofacial morphology of the ancient Egyptians has absolutely nothing to do with that of modern sub-Saharan Africans. As you can see, the pre-dynastic of Upper Egypt and the late dynastic of Lower Egypt were found to be more closely related to each other than to any other population. Both demonstrated ties with the European Neolithic, North Africa, modern Europe, and more remotely India, but not at all with sub-Saharan Africa. At the end of the paper, hear what Dr. Brace had to say.
We conclude that the Egyptians have been in place since back in the Pleistocene and have been largely unaffected by either invasions or migrations.
This is a 2003 publication showing the relationship of the world's populations by studying the crania. The Egyptian samples Giza and Nakata are on the North African twig with Nubians. We know for a fact that the Nubians and East Africans in general are a mixed race, so for them to have a Caucasian feature or two isn't really surprising. Anyway, the North African twig is very close to the European cluster. That supports the previous Loring Brace study showing ancient Egyptians as being non-similar to sub-Saharan Africans. Pre-dynastic Egyptians from Nakata, dynastic Egyptians from Giza, cluster with North Africans, South Asians, and several European groups, but not with sub-Saharan Africans. In 2005, Professors Tsunhiko Hanehara and Hajime Ishida performed dental metric comparison between 72 major human populations across 7 different geographic groups based on the mesiodistal and buccolingual crown diameters of all teeth. According to the statistical cluster analysis, pre-dynastic and dynastic Egyptians show affinities with other Caucasian populations away from sub-Saharan Africans. In this report, Dr. Irish addresses 36 non-metric dental affinities of 643 dentitions of 30 groups from North Africa, including the dynastic Egyptians and sub-Saharan Africa. When compared to each other, North and sub-Saharan Africans differ markedly from one another. When both groups were compared to a more global data, North Africans shared non-metric dental affinities with Western Asians and Europeans. Sub-Saharan Africans are divergent from all others. In the present study, the frontal and facial features of 112 populations from around the world are compared in terms of frontal and facial flatness measurements. The Badarian Egyptians, the pre-dynastic Egyptians from Nakata, and the dynastic Egyptians from Giza all cluster with Europeans, West and South Asians on the negative end of the prognathism scale.